The Great Turtle vs. Rabbit Race, Part 1 of Part 4, The Race. The race began with a flap of a wing. Who did those honors? Ready, set, go. Each racer began blazing a path in their own particular direction. Not including Shelley, of course, who merely stuck her head out the window to see what all the fuss was about. The crowd was abuzz, and the wolves howled with excitement. The coverage of the race was difficult, as all the directions were dispersed, but the army of ants assigned to cover the event did an admirable job of delivering the news. Jordan jumped into the lead. It took just 2 giant bounds and an estimated 4.7 seconds for him to reach the famous Evercom Pond. Yikes! He landed on the back of a giant hippopotamus and propelled himself to the first lily he saw. He quickly looked back over his shoulder to see his competition was nowhere yet. So he sat still and imagined the finish line and the inevitable good fortune that was headed his way. No, wait. It wasn't good fortune. It was a pike and a muskie hot on his trail, so he jumped back just in the nick of time. And then he jumped forward to another pad, but they heard that splash too. Let's check in on one of the other participants. At this same time, Willie Peckabelly was bound and determined to make it to that mud hole fast before he could rest. It was hot, and he was heavy, and by the time he arrived, 58 seconds had passed. He was tired, too tired to stand, so he tipped right over, flat snout first, into that hole. The average Joe may have been embarrassed or disappointed, but Willie was not average, and he took great pleasure in soaking his face. If it wasn't for the flies egging him on and buzzing his ear, pulling his tail and biting his yikes, he may still be there, just enjoying the spa-like conditions. Like it or not, he was stuck, and he could not proceed without the assistance of a long-tailed magpie and some submerged slugs and earthworms who managed to pry and wedge him free. Honestly, there was a lot of pushing and pulling. Yikes again! Romeo's adrenaline rose as all the little teeny boppers cheered his start. Up to 32 miles per hour he approached, and his distance was quickly 2,000 yards, almost twice as far as anyone else needed to go. Unfortunately, he was running too close to the pond, well within distance of a school of fish swimming by. He was within the subsequent jurisdiction coinciding with the legal school zone laws and the related oh-so-appropriate 15-mile-per-hour speeding limit. Of course the pigs pulled him over, perhaps to help Willie's cause, and they took their sweet time running the ticket. It took more than 30 minutes for all the paw prints to dry and the silhouetted photos to print. It took more than 30 minutes to get back on the track. Shelley's progress was so much slower than the rest, for she calculated each and every move. She spoke aloud to remind herself. First the left front foot, now the right back foot, and then the right front foot, and did I do the left back foot already? I can't remember. Maybe I'll start again. She was moving at a snail's pace. In fact, some of the faster ones were actually passing her. It was estimated if this pace was maintained, she would have crossed the finish line sometime before the turn of the next century.